They call leeches kingdom spouses to make robbing you seem righteous. That's how brainwashed so-called Christians are. Hey there, good evening. It's 10:47 p.m. It is July 9th. It is Tuesday evening, and I have been busy all day today. So I've been writing out scripts and working on putting video content together. But, I had stumbled upon some information today as I was creating a video. The first video that I'm making for the month of July is a lesson on the tarot. Now, I know that tarot has kind of been a buzzword lately because, there's been a lot of attempts to try to change Maria, to try to make her whatever, to fit into a group that I really don't want to be a part of. And this has been going on for quite a long time. I do want to mention this really quick about the tarot. And this goes for anything, okay? I know there's a lot of times people want to pick apart what other people do, and they try to find like argument. And see, the thing is what gets so tiring about this is that I'm not the one who initiated the argument, okay? And so it's kind of like, I'm sitting here by myself, like just doing my own thing, minding my own business, and then I got bombarded with people coming into my life as a result of the experiment, which is something else that I didn't ask for, okay? So when I do something, people want to know, well, what is she into? Why is she doing this? I'm not the one who blew my image up. I'm not the one who put myself out there. I was a victim of an experiment, and it's a long story. I'm sure you've been following the story. I don't want to repeat it. Okay, so let me just kind of tell you what happened today. I'm putting together content, right? And so I did a video a few months ago about divination. I did divination by playing cards, which is called cartomancy, and I also did one on throwing dice, okay? And so I kept thinking, I think I'm going to follow up and make a tarot video a little bit later in the summertime, and I finally did it, right? So now I'm doing the narration of it. So I wanted to make the tarot, because usually when I do like tarot examples, there's been times in the past where I get like a CB Braganza one, and there's been times where I just kind of make them up. Like for the divination by playing card example book, some of the spreads are made up, like with made up characters. I'm just giving examples. But I kept thinking, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity for using the demonstration of the tarot for some of these old spreads that I did for the playing cards. And so I wanted an up to date um, a reading on my enemies and obstacles, which was one of the spreads that I did for the playing cards. Now, I don't believe that I should have any current enemies or obstacles, seeing as how I felt as though I had said enough in the past about what was going on, right? But I did get a reading, okay, and I wanted to share that with you, okay? So the first reading I did was I did a one card reading. And let me go ahead and share that one card with you. Now, I'm going to give you the interpretation for this particular card. A one card reading is just basically trying to get an idea of the energies that are around you and what I was sensing. And then also I posed the question, what was like surrounding me? What kind of, what kind of energy was surrounding my life? Okay, so that's the question that I was thinking. And the reason why I kind of questioned it that way is because at this point in my life, I feel as though I'm at just a standstill. The only thing I really can focus on is content. I feel as though I've dealt with so many betrayals that I don't think about my past. I don't really think about the future because these people have put me in a situation where I'm constantly just kind of trudging along trying to figure out what's what. Okay, so there's not a lot that goes through my mind other than creating content. I find every other thought extremely depressing, and it creates what I call like mind annihilation or something along those lines. Okay, so I don't have anything pleasant to think about. So anyway, as I was visualizing, the first card, the one card that I drew was the Five of Pentacles, okay? And the Five of Pentacles pretty much summed up the situation that I'm in because of this issue relating to the people that I refer to as my enemies slash obstacles. And just to clarify who my enemies and obstacles are, I'm referring to the network that I was associated with beyond my control. Okay, so the interpretation for the Five of Pentacles is ostracized from employment and basically poverty. Okay, so this is the energy that was surrounding Orient today as a result of dealing with the enemies and obstacles. Okay, so when you get a card like that, okay, a negative card, okay, you want to get a little bit more information on it. So then I drew 3 more cards, okay? The 3 more cards was for the, you can look at 3 cards as a relationship relating to past, present, and future. Or you can just look at it as, you know, a general obstacles and enemies type relationship. You can pull 3 cards either way. So let me show you what my 3 cards were. Okay, so as I was concentrating, shuffling the cards, my thought was, you know, why am I in the 5 of Pentacles energy, and what is the outcome of the situation? And so I'm looking at this as past, present, and future, right? But I'm also kind of looking at it as an enemies and obstacles spread. Now, mind you, they're exactly the identical 3 cards, right? So in the past, I was dealing with urgent news, movement, and fast information. Now, these are just my definitions of tarot, right? And that was a lot of gossip that was going on around me, relating to, just the typical gossip that goes on around a targeted individual to accomplish a few different goals. Okay, number 1, to ruin the reputation, right? Okay, and then the reason why they want to ruin your reputation is because they want people to distance themselves from you. Okay, this way they can get around dealing with, spreading more lies, so that the target can be buried in just propaganda and one drama after another. So there was a lot of gossip that was going on around me. Okay, so in the present moment, I'm focusing on the 6 of Cups. Okay, that's going on is I was dealing with memories of childhood, getting in touch with my inner child, and true happiness, meaning like, okay, I see a bunch of different like interpretations when it comes to this. Okay, I know that this issue relates to people of my past. Okay, and when you see the 6 of Cups, it can have several different meanings. In this case, I know the people who were involved in it were people from my past. Okay, past co-workers, ex-family members, neighbors, blah 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 blah. Okay. Also, when it comes to memories of childhood, not only was it people that I knew, there were a lot of people that I didn't know. Like, for example, celebrities that I may have admired a lot in the past, but never actually met, had a conversation with, or met in person. Okay, so but all of this stuff relates to a lot to my childhood because, of the people that were involved in it. Also, the last card would be the 4 of Pentacles, which is the end result is guarding my possessions. I felt as though this reading, even though it was a very basic reading, it's a good lesson to teach somebody who's new to tarot, but also that when it comes to this reading, of course, I believe that it's accurate. As far as the future of being in 4 of Pentacles, I would say that I would agree with that, mainly because this program takes so much out of you. If you're a targeted individual, your finances get destroyed, your reputation gets destroyed, basically every aspect of your life. So every little thing that I have, I don't care if it's like, something very small, like a box of plastic bags for sandwiches. I would hang on to that because these people have placed me in so many delicate situations in the past, that I knew and remember to not ever trust the situation. You know what I mean? I know that when I was working, I kept thinking to myself, my gosh, I need to be very careful with money because you never have it good as a targeted individual. They work you for a little bit and then they lay you off. And then you get another job and then they lay you off. Now, I know because of my situation with like my last job, they will say up and okay, the problem with it is I'm going to be very upfront about this, okay? And this is not me exaggerating. This is I am telling you the truth. And the reason why I'm saying I'm not exaggerating is because I feel as though the things that happen in this targeting situation are so over the top that sometimes I keep thinking this is so ridiculous, okay? But I know when I got hired over at the BT Trucking, I started off as the administrative assistant. Then I got so-called promoted to the manager position, and then I got promoted to director of operations. It was just getting like what I consider to be ridiculous. Okay. So, and I wasn't really comfortable with it because I felt as though it was political and almost being stupid. But anyway, I decided to be very careful, and I never bought into it. Why? Because I knew that I was a targeted individual, and that they could take away my job anytime they wanted to. I felt as though I was overworked. I know that they had a lot of problems with their computer system, and they were trying to change it and upgrade it and do all this other stuff, but a lot of it was left to manual labor, which I fell on me. And quite frankly, at that point, as a hard as a work ethic as I was becoming overworked, and that was done purposely. When you are a targeted individual, they think it's funny to sit here and overwork you. They think it's funny to sit here and pile stuff on over and over and over again. And finally, it just got to the point where I didn't want to wake up anymore. I did not want to wake up in the morning anymore. I did not want to have to go to work anymore. These people were just, to me, absolute monsters. I could not stand it, right? Okay, so I knew eventually the abuse was going to happen, and that's exactly what ended up happening. This is part of the reason why I kept getting all these promotions, getting more than I could even ask for. I'd have to take my work home, which I usually don't mind that, but it was just consuming up most of my time. I started resenting it because not only was it consuming my time, now they wanted to throw in the dress code and everything else. It basically ruined a lot for my life. Okay, being associated with this network just completely was no good, zero. Okay. Anyway, so when it comes to me and looking at me in the future, yeah, I'm always going to be somebody who's going to be very what do you call it, thrifty. I've always been that way because I've never been able to trust anyone, never. Okay, so here's another reading, 3-card reading that I did on this old network that I used to belong to. So I posed the question as I was shuffling. I was thinking to myself, how is my relationship with my old network? Now, I don't expect to have an active relationship with my old network because there's a lot that's happened. And obviously, I've dealt with a lot of trauma, okay? But I wanted to make sure just to see, was there any more bullshit going on? Do I need to be agitated? Should I be on guard? What's going on? I know that there's been some pretty big tragedies that's gone on in that group, okay? So anyway, I pulled 3 cards, and the first card I got was the Sun, which represents joy, happiness, and contentment. And I will say this is in the past position, okay? So when I think of, there was a time like last fall, I had started working with, creating my videos for the Swan Song Manifesto. And this is where I, was trying to pick myself up from all the darkness that went on over at PT Trucking. I wanted to get my head on straight and pick myself up from the tragedy and start all over again. I will tell you, this terrorist group, I'm going to call it a terrorist group, okay, has made me so mentally fragile with the garbage that they did, okay? So the second card I pulled was the 9 of Swords, okay? This is the current moment that I'm living in right now, okay? I think it's I go up and down, but the 9 of Swords means constant, nonstop worry, mental torment, okay? I'm dealing with a lot. I mean, I find it very difficult to function when it comes to me going online and doing certain things. I find it difficult for me to find any sort of what do you call it, mental rest, mainly because I was a victim of a hate campaign. I mean, there's really no doubt about it. And, the whole situation leaves a bad taste in my mouth because there's no way in the world somebody could ever tell me that, oh, it was just a joke, or I should not have taken all of that hate directed towards me seriously. Okay, and I will tell you right now, do I internalize it to where I feel bad about myself? No. I feel bad that I had to live through that situation and that it's inconvenienced me. I never once thought that these people had or that they were right. I knew from the very beginning, okay, that something was wrong. Okay, and I will tell you, I thought that Jackie was one of those people who, at first, I thought she was nice, but as I started really looking at this, I realized how mentally sick she really was. Okay, so the third card is the final card, which is the future. My relationship with the network. How is my relationship with my old enemies and obstacles, also known as my network? The last card I got was the Five of Pentacles. Now that's funny because that's the same card that I drew earlier for the one card reading. Remember? Okay, so and the reason I'm not really going into the whole lesson of the tarot in this particular reading, the reason why I'm talking about what I've stumbled upon during this reading for my examples is because I didn't want to spend the entire time making on the video for the tarot lesson going on and on and on and on about how pissed off and how sick and twisted these people really are. Okay, because I want to make the video somewhat focused, okay, and stay on script. Okay, but the Five of Pentacles, obviously, which means ostracized from employment and poverty. Okay, so this network has done me absolutely no good. Okay, on to the next slide. Okay, so here's a basic tarot spread that I created for the friend or foe reading. Use this spread for family members, so-called friends, co-workers, neighbors, etc. Now, I created this spread to find out 5 different questions. Okay, the first one would be, number 1, why does the so-called friend or foe have an issue with me? And so the first card that I pulled was the Seven of Pentacles. And the answer would be that they were admiring my work and my skill and my craft. So they were jealous of my ability to be creative, I believe, my work ethic and how I conducted myself. And I know that a lot of this was highly racially charged. So, when white people get upset when black people are able to do things independently, think for themselves, do something that is out of character, at least in the minds of racist white people. So they were basically angry because, I was a good worker and I had good work ethics and I had a lot of skill. Okay, the second box is for the question, what is their reason for being friends with you? Now, when I say friends, I don't mean real friends. I know that anybody in that group never had anything of any substance to offer me on an emotional level. Not then, not now, not ever. Okay, but you got frenemies that want to be around you for specific reasons. Okay, so the card that I drew was the Wheel of Fortune. These people wanted to be around me for positive opportunities and forward movement. Okay, so these people would like to point me out as being some sort of loser, but in fact they knew that this was not true. Also, they knew that I had some sort of association with people that they thought, even I had no idea who these people were, that they thought I was associated with. I can honestly say I don't see myself really associated with these people because I don't know them, and I'm referring to these celebrities, okay? So, I don't know. But whatever the case is, I figured there was a lot of people around me who were bullying me, but what they were trying to do was interweave themselves within this network of people that they thought I knew or that I was loosely associated with. Sometimes I have to forget because I have to remember where all this started and how it all started, and I have to sit here and go right back to the whole Facebook drama, and then me understanding what happened then, the whole thing, okay? Because I do believe that this started on Facebook in 2008, and this is where it built up momentum. Now, I did not know. I've never met people. I've never met Justin Hayward. I've never met the other people that were involved in this. But like I said, I do remember that it is associated with my legacy in England of being Prince Alame, who made his escape to America. So, I think a lot of the people in this community, including Jackie and Eddie, were kind of jealous about the people that were, I guess, around me. They were monsters. That's all I can really say. I want to go on to the next card. Okay, so question number 3 is, what is the positive side to this relationship? And the card that I pulled was the Six of Wands reverse. Now, in this tarot lesson, I'm showing how to read tarot cards face up and also reversals. Now, I myself do not deal with reversals, okay? But I figured since I'm teaching a beginner, I'm going to go ahead and show reversals, okay? So this particular card came up upside down, and it means no victory and constant struggle. So the question, remember, was, what is the positive side to this relationship? See, and I always knew that there was none. There was no positive side to any of that. This was just a waste of my time just for the sake of harassment. Really, is what it was. I didn't benefit from it at all. It was a waste of my time, 100%. Okay, so card number 4, the question would be, what are the dangers of this relationship? And I pulled the 7 of Swords. Now, I don't know if you can see this, when I play it back on your screen. Hopefully it'll be big enough. But you'll see this guy, he's carrying swords, and you can see in the background there's people chasing after him. Okay, the meaning of that card is getting away with a dishonest and legal act. That was the answer to question number 4. What are the dangers of this relationship? Now, I believe, obviously, the fact that they trafficked me was in and itself illegal, okay? But there's also an issue of this whole forced marriage issue, which is the name of this video, Beware of the Kingdom Spouse, okay? And I feel comfortable throwing this stuff out because I feel as though no one's ever going to confront me on it, ever, okay? Because they just don't want to deal with it because they know they're guilty, and they know they're wrong, and they know that I deserve compensation. But the illegal act didn't stop at BT Trucking. Now, when I left BT Trucking, I know that based on a reading that I just recently did on my sister a couple nights ago, which I'm just going to fill in the blanks. I know that my sister and Justin Hayward were working together, I believe, to act as if they had some sort of rights over me. Now, this is where it gets very sick about the kingdom spouse, about spouse thing, okay? Mainly because of the stupidity of people not knowing. And see, I believe they knew, okay? I think just about anybody with half a brain, I would think even a teenager would know, okay? A teenager would know that you need to have a marriage license in order for it to be recognized as a legal marriage, okay? I have another 10-card spread that I'm going to just kind of summarize up after I finish this one, because I don't want to bombard anybody with having to go through each and every detail, because that's the part of the lesson, okay? But I'm just, what I got from this particular reading, I wanted people to share it because, I really don't want to sit here and think about a lot of the stuff that I went through, okay? Especially because of what it means. And what it means is that I was taken advantage of, not just in my last life, but in this life. And I was dealing with people who were sick, twisted, and malicious. Okay, and brainwashed on top of it. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I am still dealing with a lot of trauma, because I lived through a full-on, true hate crime. Okay, For somebody to do that sort of stuff to you after leaving BT Trucking, they decided to intercept my work over at Patreon, which was my channel, my channel. And this is one of the reasons why in the previous reading, in the previous slides, I was talking about, I had the sun card. I was pretty happy. I was trying to be happy, okay, because I was trying to get over the devastation of what happened over at BT Trucking, right? And I kept thinking, okay, I'm leaving the 9 to 5. I don't want to have to see this ever again. It was extremely traumatizing, whatever. And so they make up this bullshit about the kingdom spouse thing. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go into the next card, and then we're going to talk a little bit more. Okay, so the last card number 5, the question is, how can this issue be resolved? Now, when I asked this question, I made this spread a few months ago. Okay, that was for my original video, the playing card video. Okay, so these questions were already created. I was doing it as an example, but the actual reading is correct and it is real. Okay, I just wanted to include it for the example. All right, so the answer to that question would be 3 of Cups, celebration with family, friends, and coworkers. And I found this so twisted. The reason why I found it twisted is because these people, to me, seem like they were nothing but manipulative. They expected me to be okay with their bullying. They think it's okay to sweep whatever happened over at um, what is that place? I'm so tired. I've been working all day. I was going to say Pandora. That's not Pandora. God, Patreon. Okay, they think that they can just sweep this stuff under the carpet, and they probably can because they're associated with an illegal cult. Okay, they are associated with a cult, CULT. Okay, to think that I would celebrate with people who potentially stole from me and abused me, that to me is absolutely a warped thing to do, right? But it makes sense to people who are in a cult, right? The problem with it is that I want to go into the whole kingdom spouse thing in just a second. And I'm going to just kind of talk through the rest of this particular video. And I encourage you, haven't uploaded that video to my Ko-fi channel yet, but I will, and I will let people know when I do. When I think of the kind of abuse that these people did, okay, every single last one of these people are guilty for what they did, okay. Now, I want to go back into people taking from me. Now, I believe I did a 10 card reading too, and I'm not going to bore you with all the details of each and every 10 card, okay? But let me just kind of summarize it for you, okay? That, in the past, in C.B. Braganza's past life, okay, one of the things that really bothered him, and the reason why he had such a problem resting in his death, is because of the abuse that he received from the church. Okay, now a lot of people find it very difficult to believe because that they've been fed a completely different story. They've been told that C.B. Braganza or Prince Alamehu was a hoodlum, he was a bad person, he was this and he was that. Okay, that's not true. The church has been stealing from C.B. Braganza for a very, very long time. Okay, and apparently the cloning process is something that's available to people to be cloned. Okay, which I look at being cloned as a form of hell. I believe that this is hell, and that the people who govern all of this is not exactly the most angelic people. Okay, so I don't think coming back to Earth is necessarily a good thing. Okay. What I wanted to say about this delusion. Okay. I wanted to go into me and my reading about my sister because I had gotten off and on messages about my sister, here and there. I knew that she was involved in it. I knew that my sister was involved in something shady, and I knew that she was involved in something shady with Justin Hayward. Okay, I know that Jackie, I know Eddie Arambula, these two were involved in it. The more names I can think of, the more I'm going to throw out. You know why? Because I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of suffering, okay? And I hope that people start dealing with the same fate that my sister Lisa dealt with, because there's certain people who I personally feel should be paying the price for the shit that they've done, okay? Whether that, if that means being socially ostracized or whatever, then they need to pay the price for it. Because I'm sitting here dealing with so much drama, so much trauma, so much, negative fears, anxiety. I told my son today, could you please sit with me while I get online to fill out this application? He does not understand the kind of fear and anxiety I have to deal with when it comes to doing something as mundane as getting on the computer. Now, this is a group of people who hate me. They hate me. Okay, so I would never want to work or be friends with people who I'm going to have to be fake friends with. Okay, I don't want anything to do with Jackie or Eddie or dealing with who else? Oh, Justin Hayward. Now, here's the thing. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about Justin Hayward and these people possibly stealing from me, which I personally think they did. Okay. Okay. Now, the church is supposed to be the church. The reason why I don't go to church, okay, it has nothing to do with my desire. I've always been godly. I've always been somebody who felt like I was plugged in from day one. Okay, but the church, the way that the religion is practiced, is something that I don't believe in. Why? Because I've seen nothing but hypocrisy. Okay, and I can see the kind of mind that it creates in a person when they've been exposed to some of the weird doctrines that are allowed to develop within this group dynamic. Okay, um, they were uh, feeding off of their own delusion and making up lies to themselves so that they didn't have to feel guilty about the kind of crime that they were really creating. Okay, now Justin Hayward, I don't know if he actually took any money from me or not, but the fact that, okay, here's the thing. If he did not take money from me, okay, then he is still guilty of intruding upon something that belongs to me without my permission. Okay, now, in order to be considered married, like I said, you have to have a marriage license. Okay, and I had already talked about this issue before about gang stalking and fake marriages, forced marriages, why it's illegal. Okay, now when I was doing some meditation and mind tapping, because I really wanted to get some reasons, like, okay, I wanted to, I understood the reason why what they were doing was bullshit and it made no sense, right? Other than them being greedy and wanting to steal, right? But um, I was meditating on my sister because I know that my sister was involved in this. And so I was like, okay, well, why did Justin Hayward, or why would Justin Hayward do that? Why wouldn't he get my permission? Why is it that I am not, why is it that people do things behind my back, right? And then act as if that's an okay thing to do. Now, apparently the church or the people who were instructing this, which I possibly think it could have maybe been, I'm not going to say who it is, but we know who it is, okay? Um, we all know who it is, okay? This person has come up in a few of my tarot, not my readings, but my intuitive readings, okay? They had made up all kinds of propaganda about me. Number one, the issue of me being a male in one of my lives. Number two, the fact that these people are downright torturous, and I'm going to say no, they are demonic, okay? The kind of shit that they did to C.B. Braganza by exploiting him the way that they did in the 19th century when he was here, okay? The church took a lot from him. Like I just mentioned a few nights ago about him being the founder of the New Thought movement, and we had all these people who were benefiting from him financially. The church, okay? Now, the church to me should be, they should not be people who should be known for telling a lie. They should be very careful about the things that they say and do. Why? Because they are representatives, or they say they're representatives of the Word, right? The Bible, okay? But the church has always been about making money, okay? And I fully get that. And it's a power structure, okay? A power structure that I don't respect, okay? Just because of the things that it does. And apparently I never realized just how personal that issue was until I found out that I was C.B. Braganza and all the things that this church has done to me. Okay. Now, I asked my sister in my meditation, to get answers. Okay. Why in the world would Justin Hayward even want to marry somebody? Okay. Because this is the reason why I'm asking is because when I got my intuitive answer from my sister, I knew it didn't make any sense. She would have to come to the realization and admit, even in I know this sounds weird, but when you're doing meditations with people who are not with you, they have to answer. Okay, it's a long story. Okay, so anyway, the answer that she got was she was fumbling, like she couldn't come up with it because they knew it was bullshit. Like, why would you marry somebody, okay, if I was somebody who was some weird demon that haunted people because I wasn't a Christian, or I was something deviant of the spiritual realm. Something wrong with me. Something was wrong with me. So why would Justin Hayward pretend to be my husband then? Why would anybody be married to somebody that's basically an abomination? Why would you do that? Why would you marry somebody who was supposed to be a male in their past life? Okay, but these are all the excuses that were used to prevent me from having my rights. But why would Justin Hayward marry somebody like that? Okay, and she couldn't come up with an answer, because deep down inside they knew that the reason why they were doing it is because they wanted some sort of access to what was mine. Okay, they were all corrupt, every single last one of them. This is one of the reasons why my sister took herself out, and if she hasn't taken herself out, she will take herself out. What else did I want to say? I would never give anything to the church. Okay, and people keep, and you can sit here and point the finger at me all you want to. The issue is that I have nothing against Jesus. I have nothing against God. I have something against organized religion who steal from people and pretend that it's their work. Okay, I have no respect for that. I would not contribute nothing to that organization if somebody asked me to. Okay, I would never. But they steal it. Okay, they stole from me in my past life, and apparently they were trying to do it this life. And the problem, like I said, this to me, this is a cult. It's not this to me, my interpretation or my definition. It is a cult. Okay, and I've proved this several times. The very fact that there's so many different denominations within this group. Jackie, she's acting like she's a Christian. She's a joke. She's dead, and she deserves to be dead. Who else? My sister, she was never a strong Christian. I know that Alita Collins was involved. She was a Catholic. All these people, there was a couple Mormon people involved. And this is not me pointing out their religion. But my point is that if this was some sort of organized group that was offended by me not being a part of their religion, it doesn't make any sense to have all these different denominations. What exactly are you trying to convert me to? Okay, but what it was a hate crime of people wanting to jump on a person to bully a person out of something, or either use me as some sort of way of getting recognized or some sort of acknowledgement because they knew that I was associated with this particular soul tribe. Now, like I said, I want to take some time to warn people about this issue of kingdom spouses, okay, or people who make up church rules. The whole fact that they try to use people, force people into converting into their religion, so that you don't ask questions. One of the reasons why they go after you in such an insidious way is because they want 100% compliance. Okay, and a lot of people are dumb. They don't think about their rights. They don't think about, is this even biblical? They don't even think about, is it legal or biblical or whatever. They just do it. You know what I mean? If they say be a Christian, then I'll be a Christian. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but that's your choice. But did you know what you just got yourself into? See, everything about modern day Christianity, or Christianity that I've seen demonstrated to me, has been corrupt. Like, I remember my sister Tanya, she always had mental problems. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I have mental problems only because I had to deal with the same group of people who targeted me relentlessly throughout my entire life. Okay, I am not comfortable with uh, this group of people with their sick ways. Like Justin Hayward, uh, I don't trust that man. Okay, and I don't trust anybody at this point. And I don't. The reason why I did the enemies and obstacles, like I said, it was to demonstrate for like a lesson. Okay, but I have zero interest in that group. I just want to make sure, like, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with these people anymore. Now, I did do a spread that kind of indicated, I'm walking away. I have no interest in. I do not want to see these people. Freak me out. They freak me out. It's a cult. Okay? Cult. Okay, I would never be converted to that religion. Now, I know some people they gawk at me, they try to make it a controversial issue about what I believe. There is no, I mean, you can make a controversial issue out of it, but this is the way I look at it according to history and what's based on fact is that I come from a group of people who don't acknowledge, the same deities as other that as the Christian faith. Okay. Now that doesn't mean, because like I said, I studied Christianity when I was younger. Okay, and I don't have anything against it. I have nothing against Jesus, right? But I do believe that the way that Jackie practiced Christianity and the way that Justin Hayward practices Christianity, I think they make it look like it gives it a bad name. Okay, because it's corrupt. Okay, these people were interested in getting things or taking things. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't want to be somebody who's forced into some form of philanthropy. I care about my work. Okay. And obviously, I'm sitting here. If that was the case, if this was some sort of church thing, or they're using it as a church thing, how dare you take money from me and feed yourself? You know what I mean? These people are evil. Okay, that's just the very bottom line. Okay, but I wanted to warn people about this issue about the kingdom spouse thing because people normalize this. Okay, to me, a kingdom spouse is a kingdom leech. That's what he is. Okay, they want to come around and, like, hoover over what people have and then try to dictate it. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to know for sure whether I made money or not. Do I suspect it? Yes, I do. Okay, I don't want confirmation. But whether I made money or I was just sitting here devoting my time and energy all those months, right, for no reason, and you have this person sitting here blocking it because he's gotten confirmation by a few important people high up the chain that it was okay, and no, it's not okay. Okay, and I've already explained this before about the people who did this sort of like shocking thing, this scandalous thing. I'm surprised God Himself has not struck you goddamn dead. And I know there's a lot of people who are dead out of, on this. Okay, I know there's a lot of people who died in this. A lot. Okay, so if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does. Okay, that's something you just do not do. You do not sit here and bring God into something that is so destructive. I understand those things. Okay. When I got this reading, though, I wanted to talk about it because it made me very angry and it disgusts me. Okay, because all this time, I have been suffering from evil people who've used God as an excuse to do what they did. Now, now when it comes to kingdom spouses and stuff like that, there are some women, you know, I've seen like even like they call it YouTube videos where like people come in and they have to start talking about your kingdom spouse. I always ignore those. Okay, I always ignore those readings. I never read them because I can't. Number one, I can't stand the idea of a kingdom spouse. I don't believe in kingdom spouses, and I also think that, like I said, a kingdom spouse is a kingdom leech. Okay, if he can't come up to you and ask you, you know, to court properly. Not, I didn't want to court Justin Hayward. That's not my point. Okay, my point is that it shouldn't be done behind the scenes. If something's being done behind the scenes and you're not involved in it, or they're involving other people around you in it, it's crooked. It's crooked. Okay. Now let's just say, for example, they were supposed to surprise me, right? Like they were taking my work and then they wanted some sort of control over it. And they were going to try to force me into being a Christian until I complied. Okay, which is something that I think that they kind of did. I would never want to be a part of that. I do not believe in that. I hate. Okay, I'm going to come right out and say it. And please do not mix this up because, like I said, I have nothing against Christ, but I fucking hate Christianity. I hate it. It's warped. It's crazy. Now, let me tell you, Christians will take things that they'll call it demonic, and then they'll turn around and use it and act like it's theirs. Okay, good example, music. Okay, I remember reading about, and my parents could, well, they couldn't vouch for this, but both my parents are dead. Okay, when Christians here in this country like would burn things like Beatle albums and stuff like that, or Elvis albums or something, because they felt as though, well, I wouldn't say the Beatles, but certain music sounded too much like black or imitated too much of the black sound, which they thought was heathen music and blah 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 blah. Okay, but it's totally okay for them to sit here and create things like Christian rock and Christian rap music. Okay, it doesn't matter about the lyrics. They originally started talking about how they didn't like how the beats, the sound of it was stirring people up and stirring up their emotions. Okay, so what did they do a few years later? They create a duplicate version of it that nobody really is. It's not cool at all, but still. Okay, my point is that Christians say one thing and they'll do another. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why I have no fucking respect for them. I have no respect for them. It is nothing more to me than a money-making machine. It is a disgrace. I don't believe Jesus himself acknowledges that garbage. I really don't. Now, some people might think, wow, that's really hard for you to say. I will tell you, I speak the truth. And the reason why I'm saying this sort of stuff is because, people will have it painted. They had people believing that my own siblings were sitting here telling me that I was evil, okay, and yet working with Justin Hayward to try to take what's mine and take it to the church. Like I said, I wouldn't give nothing to the goddamn church. Nothing. Okay? Now, all these years, I've been sitting here very quietly. I've never spoke against the church or anything like that. And I'm not somebody who's an active hater, like, where I would bomb a church or anything like that. That would never even come across my mind. But I'm looking at this situation, and I'm looking at all the brainwashed people. And it's more than brainwash. These people were evil. They were evil. Is what they were. You know what I mean? And I know who's involved in it. And these people were quick to tell me that I was not good enough and I was not educated enough. These people should know better than to sit here and think that they could use the excuse as Justin Hayward was my husband to get access to my stuff. And the stupid idiot of audit per people who actually believe that. Do you honestly think that you can just consider yourself somebody's husband or wife just by saying that? That's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's illegal to do that. This is another case of human trafficking, and it's a red flag. And let this be a lesson to people in the future. This is what I'm saying. This is what you need to be watch out for. Okay, there are no such thing as a legal what do you call it? A legal kingdom spouse. Okay. There's a few other intuitive messages I wanted to kind of touch on. Not that one. I speak the truth. I speak 100% the truth. And everybody that's watched my channel has watched me and seen me unravel this entire thing. Okay? I went from not knowing what was going on to finding out what was going on and understanding the situation. And now that I understand the situation, of course, I find it disgusting. Okay? I find it disgusting that somebody would think in their mind that it would be okay or that I would even think about being their friend. Like, the last card on that reading about how could we make this better? Not that I care. I don't care. Okay? Just leave me alone. Okay? Because I'm traumatized by the shit that these people did. Okay? But the fact that they think that by celebrating and being together, you already ruined your chance for me to ever trust you. Okay, now I know there's a few of these people who were involved in this, they're dead now, and they got exactly what they deserve. I will not shed a tear, you got exactly what you deserve. See, the thing is, some people are afraid to say that they think Christianity is garbage. You know why they're afraid to say it? Because if you feel as though there's some sort of repercussion for saying it, you already have a problem. If we have freedom of religion in this, freedom of speech and freedom of religion in this country, you should have no problem saying the truth. Okay. Plus, I have proof to back it up. I have never met one mentally stable person who is associated with that religion. Not one. Okay. And mind you, I'm being fair because I've been in this program. Okay. So all their little clones and their little cronies and all this other stuff that I've encountered, there's always been something off with them. Always. What other message did I want to go into? I think that's really it. I wanted to cover that because I understand, there's a lot of people who join religions because it's the thing to do. And you guys do what you want to do, okay? But legally, I have no reason to be a Christian. And I understand that there's some sort of, Justin Hayward was sitting here trying to say that I couldn't do things without his permission. Okay, this is how they operate things. This is part of their illegal operation. I can't do anything without his permission. See, nothing. And I'm going to tell, this message is for all the people who were involved in this, and I mean every single last one of them. You keep your goddamn mouth shut, and don't you ever bring your energy into my home again. Do not sit here and think that you can have people spying on your behalf, especially if they're related to me. You keep your shit out of my house. Okay? You may have convinced yourself that it was okay to steal. You probably want to think that, oh, maybe it's a good cause or we're doing something right. And you know good and well. You should have known. And if you're that brainwashed, we shouldn't be friends at all. Okay? It is not because my hatred of Christianity has nothing to do with me not appreciating what is holy. It has nothing to do with me not appreciating, if Jesus did die for people's sins, there's no reason why I would not feel any sort of respect for that. Okay? What I hate is the corruption of people who say that they are Christ-like and they use this as an excuse to exploit other people. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to this issue. Okay? I don't like people who dangle things or try to use things as some sort of leverage. Okay? Like, in this case, they're going to take my stuff and then try to use my shit over my head as some sort of leverage. Fuck you. Okay? I will never accept your religion. Ever. 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 Because you know what? I personally think to accept that sort of way of spirituality, knowing how corrupt it is, the face of it, I think it would make me morally unclean. There you go. That's my feeling on it. And if people have a problem with that, well, that's too bad. Because you know what? There's a lot of people that you're going to deal with or you're going to encounter when you're somebody who's strong in the truth. When you have a strong conviction about something, I'm going to tell you right now, at this point in my life, I don't care who accepts the fact that I reject Christianity or not. Okay, and I understand why that entire rumor was spread about me being some sort of demonic child. I am not demonic at all. Okay, what it is that certain people get cloned. Okay, and they get cloned because they were rivals, or they were thought to be rivals of the main prayer people who orchestrate all this. Okay, so they get brought back to basically be fucked with, to be played with. Okay, and if you don't play the game, then they can always blame it on the fact that, oh, well, you're just, it's religion. We can use religion as an excuse to, get other people to fight for us. It's a very sick game, but they'll do it, right? So anyway, yeah, what it is I'm somebody who speaks the truth, is what I am, with what I do. Okay, and my sister Lisa is paid the price for something that she did pay the price. You know what I mean? I would never become or support that religion, ever. I care too much about my soul. I care too much about my relationship with the higher power to do so. So anyway, I hope that you do check out my video when it's done. I will let people know. I'll do the announcement. Until then, you can tell I'm tired. I've been up all morning. I'm really tired. I'm sleepy. I'm worn out. Okay, I'm just worn out. Because, I'm always having to deal with negative thoughts. Okay, I don't have anything positive in my life that, and the thing is that these people are sick. They love it. They love that. Okay, Jackie loved that. Okay, and she was a good-looking woman. She had everything to have a happy life, but she hated her life so much she had to sit here. This is how sick she was. She had to sit here and make things bad for me. You know what I mean? I would think somebody like her, looking at her, I would think, man, she should be so fulfilled in every aspect of her life. She had no reason to be that miserable, but she chose that. You know what I mean? I choose to make better choices. You know what I mean? I'm not happy with it. I understand everybody who's involved in it. I understand the people who spread the rumors about me being a man in my past life and all this other stuff so that they could keep me out of the public eye, so that I would not have a voice to speak for myself, so that I could not sit here and figure out what they were talking about. Now I figured it out. Okay? It's a shame. It's shocking, and it's just it disgusts me to see what these people are. Hell no, I don't want a relationship with these people. It's better for me to move on. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I do apologize for how sleepy I am. I can tell, when I start shutting down, I start shutting down. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my computer off, and I will be back with another video sometime later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.